Try again. Meet your maker.
Better luck next time.
Try again.
You're not trying to escape, are you?
like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the Magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
So, still a bit groggy, are we? Don't worry, the sedative will wear off soon enough. Easy now, no need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
So it wasn't a dream after all. or sty? Freight or food?
Shaking her fluffy coat, the sheep eyes you balefully, her rectangular eyes like letterboxes to the void. With one sharp hoof, she kicks you right in the shin.
That click. This floor plate triggered something.
You then. Come here. Hey! Hey! Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Set me free and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of, just dragged me down here. A gentleman among jesters, you are. Give that lever a pull, and I guarantee we'll both get something out of the deal.
Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens, and then another.
Is my shift over? Are you here to relieve me? Oh, wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy elf? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. Those idiots can't even walk straight without mucking it up. Was it Rick's? I bet it was Rick's. Can't just leave the prisoner alone, though. I heard he might be the one causing trouble upstairs. If it's all the same, I think it's best he comes with me. Some offence intended. You hear that, Emoire? We're taking a walk. Come on. And keep your hands where I can see them.
prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes rest on yours.
Ah, freedom. Tastes better than wine. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lad. Say your prayers while you've breath to speak them. The halls await.
What would he have to gain by killing me? I need to keep my guard up.
Empty.
Not the most elegant solution, was it?
Now, where did I leave my calipers? Why, you're looking a bit more chipper. Yes.
No known
Looks like that
associates.
collar fits you
In
snugly
fact,
enough.
you seemed quite
Nice bit
averse
of
to
work,
spending
even if I
time.
do say so myself. There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Dungeon? You have the gall to call my laboratory a dungeon? I'd be quite annoyed with you if you didn't look so honestly perplexed.
Index fingers pressed to her lips, she pauses a moment to give you a scrutinizing gander.
My word, you do seem a bit befuddled, don't you? Perhaps I was a bit too generous with that sedative. Oh, well, I'm sure you'll soon gather your wits. Most likely. Eventually. In the meantime, all you need to know is that we're en route to Fort Joy. A new life awaits, and if you're a particularly good boy, perhaps a cure as well. An end to sauce. For good.
Good gods, there's been a murder here.
Associates. In fact,
A
he
young
seemed
magister
quite
stands
averse
pale.
to spending time with the others. No lesions, no trauma. It's bled by magic.
The hatch is blocked. I'll need to find another way.
Behind the Magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
Easy now. You're paling me arse. Why don't you move along? Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. It's a small ship. His name was Finn. Oddball. Looked to me like he saw something he wished he hadn't before he came here. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
Why won't you sing?
It was one of them. I know it.
Put a knuckle on it. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Inseparable, surely.
What are you trying to hear
Ah,
anyway?
there you are. Husband. Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. Why, I never. I left my good pals at home, or I'd be clutching them with all my daintiest, most ladylike might. Say as you will, husband. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb won't be treated so.
The children break out into giggles.
What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You'd presume right.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
First thing about sauce.
Name? The Divine Order wants to know. Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, mate. We're trying to catch a killer here.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out and examines your face, tugging at your ears and prodding your nose.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
I am reading. Is this not evident? My book is in my hands, my face turned away from you. Perhaps my eyes not on the page. Damnable things.
He grabs a metal plate and watches his reflection with one eye as the other shifts left to right and up to down. He repeats the maneuver with the opposite eye.
No, they are working quite adequately. It seems you are at fault. Predictable, really. Oh, I see. I crossed a cultural taboo. How difficult. You have my apologies, fellow elf. Perhaps I should demand the same from those red-cloaked humans. They laid their hands on me more than once. Perhaps. Perhaps not. Understanding is all rather relative. Take this book, for example. I understand all of it, and yet none of it makes sense. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
Well, well, what have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
I'm inspecting your teeth, in case that wasn't spectacularly obvious. There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Yes, I can tell from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style, I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, but you have the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun. That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry. My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of my disheartening refusal to sink in. Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
A broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that? The ship, of course.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger, it's...
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
Anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east. Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Come on, please.
Did you see the body? They ought to let you taste a bit. Maybe you'd find out who done it.
How dare you classify this slop as food? I've seen
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She smiles contemptuously.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
It was one of them. I know it.
You put a knuckle in it. I'm trying to concentrate.
Don't care about it. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your
This again?
always hung closest to our divide, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, we've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right. I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Nest. Your kind always hung closest to our divide, like wolves around a campfire.
Well,
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
It was one of them. I know it.
Of course I do. Seems Voidwoke can dog your heels like a shadow. That's no way to live, is it? You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
One of us those bombs trained on him, but if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking Magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts Source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
What's happened?
No! What? What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake! Oh!
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. You shake the lizard by the shoulders, but you're unable to wake him up. Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see green eyes fluttering as if in a nightmare. A low whine escapes his lips. His eyes flicker open, but he doesn't register your presence at all.
Lucien. Lucien.
Ifan cries out, then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how much you shake him now, he cannot be roused. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive, but only just.
Not long before this thing snaps into splinters. Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Damn it! Need
to get off this wreck and quick.
Gods. By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer! Even if I knew how to rip that thing off, I wouldn't. Some crazy banshee comes screaming through, and now we got void bugs swarming up top. Saw it coming, I did. Sorcerer mutiny. Your lies end here.
Bishop Alexander. If Lucian were alive, what would he think of his son's divine order? Great gods. Something's pounding on the hull.
The marking on the door was painted recently, judging from its pungent scent. You recognize the symbol immediately for what it is, a warning of death fog within. You press your palm against the door to open it. The wood feels neither cold nor warm, but simply grey. The color drains from your hand, and you are left numb.
That means there's still a chance.
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here. Hear that, kid? We need to go.
But what about the ladder? It's right over there. We can go straight down.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Orivan.
Those Voidwoken made short bloody work of the ship. Am I the lone survivor? It seems someone, something, wanted me alive. Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. They made it to shore. I thought these bloody collars were supposed to keep those things at bay. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, two smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
You're glad, are you? How very curious. For word has reached me through a very sour grapevine indeed, that you turned your back on your fellow passengers, left us to fend for ourselves. So much easier, isn't it, to look out for oneself alone? Of course I did. Takes more than some oversized cuttlefish to get the better of me. Besides, you'll find I wasn't complaining, I was making a point. About oneself. Alone. So, if there's nothing further... If you really must know, I haven't quite decided yet. I've a frightful amount of things on my mind, hence my standing here contemplating the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me, what do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Touché.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. What do you mean, what do I mean? I mean just what I say. I had a very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? Oh, may the Seven have mercy on their own creation. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the spouse of the Sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. This and that. Tag along. Do you really mean to compare the fate of an empire to whatever foibles you seek to fix? On the other hand, I really could do with a dog's body, even if it's the sort that leaves others to rot on a sinking ship. Fine, I accept. On one condition. I've reason to believe one of them may be present on this island. Promise me we'll look for him, and I'll extend you the blessing of my company. You do tend to beat around the bush, don't you? Oh well, that wishy-washy answer will have to do then. So, now that that's settled, first things first. Even if you are as versed in the art of eloquence as I am, that our swords will be doing a lot of the talking from here on out goes without saying. As a born fighter, I prefer the perfection of the blade myself. But I'm well acquainted with the secrets of magic, and yes, even subterfuge. What say you? Do not take my elegance as a mask for frailty. My blows shatter shields, and my thrusts pierce armor. If a warrior you need, the warrior you'll have. I offered the perfection of the blade, and you seek the perfection of the blade. How fortuitous. Very well. Onwards, then, to victory or death.
The Red Prince nods and gives you a smile that wavers ever so delicately between courtesy and contempt.
Now, as you're aware, you'll be traveling with a prince. Proper forms of address include Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, or if you're feeling particularly frivolous, Milord. As your luck would have it, I seem to be fresh out of luggage, so you won't be required to carry my belongings. Of course, there are other forms of protocol to bear in mind, but I'll see to it you'll pick up the rest as we go. So, without further ado, let us be off!
A black cat. Hello, kitty.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity. its eyes clear, and it shakes its head, confused.
I've spotted something. I don't have the right tool for digging.
One must put in due effort if one is to reap the proper reward.
Here lies a nameless inmate. May he find the peace denied him in life in the Hall of Echoes.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be needed elsewhere.
A single name throbs across your brain. Verdas, Verdas, Verdas! He must escape. He cannot die here. He cannot!
Come on, old man. I can't wait all day. Where is he? Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
Hey, mister. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat, huh? Sure wish you'd gone back to save the others. Though, I did see one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago, so I guess some of them survived at least. Now where should I put this one?
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
Dear one, help me teach this beast. He must respect.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you gotta make this so hard?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms. You recognize him. It's Ifan, who you met aboard the ship on the way here.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you. Runs the kitchen. Means he runs me, you, and everyone else in camp. Everyone in camp's got to contribute. For food, for protection, no exceptions. Especially not for elves. Griff's orders.
Food? Protection? I have neither.
You two ought to be thanking your lucky gods it's us, and not the Magisters enforcing round here. A fool never knows what they've got till it's well and gone. Now come on, elf. If you make me say it again, there's gonna be trouble.
And neither will I.
We got a system, and it looks like you don't want to fit in.
Stay down, you! Follow me, before more of them trouble us.
I've an errand to run around here first. I'll catch up with you there later.
Remember, past the kitchens, down to the beach, inside the caves there. There is a safe place.
Ifan rolls his sleeves back down and casually wipes some blood from his cheek. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops. Say, you were on the ship here with me, weren't you?
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it, hard.
Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're safely on dry land. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run, and then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place? I didn't like the look in their eyes. Sure you didn't either.
He smiles broadly and looks away. You're not sure, but you could swear he just winked at you.
Oh, I don't feel so good.
The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1, and when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right?
He grins, sharp teeth glittering in the midday sun.
So, before we hit the road, it's best if we decide battle strategies up front. Should keep more of our blood in. Survival's my main priority. I'll use every trick in the book to keep us alive. But if a wayfarer's not what you're after, I've got other skills. What do you need? Dexterous arts. What are you looking for exactly? A tapestry embroiderer?
Hello? You gonna pray all day, buddy?
Like I said, you want someone who can keep you alive through means both natural and supernatural? Can do. Onwards.
He scans the horizon for threats with one green eye, then nods back at you.
Right you are. Lead the way.
Where's the oil?
Hello? You gonna pray all day, buddy? Is that indigestion or is it... Oh God, not now. Hello? You gonna pray all day, buddy?
Who in their right mind would think of a thing like this?
Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and scraps of metal, the woman is manipulating a glove-like contraption fitted with 5 long metal skewers. She doesn't look up as you approach.
And what you after?
A grin cracks her stony face.
Sure thing. I ain't. Just sit.
She looks up.
You looking to buy something? All manner of things. Have a look.
You gonna pray all day, buddy? no prey all day, buddy?
Yes. Is it an audience you desire?
Amidst a crowd of screws, bolts, and screws.
What you after?
Leave me. Go. Hey, bold, aren't you? Best burn it all. The Reds, they won't want what I got.
Is that... what's this? I found something. I need a shovel.
I am not opposed to manual labor, if circumstances require.
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort, pain apparent in every movement, and madness screams from its wide, bloodshot eyes.
You. Quite lost. Quite lost. Careful, or they'll cross your wires. Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time.
The creature gingerly takes the plant into his bloodied hands. He runs his fingertips over the white flowers. His panting breath slows.
Darling, dear darling child. Hello, yarrow girl. Can it really be you?
His eyes snap up to meet yours.
For you, my ring. Part of me. Name of Migo. Thank you. Pretty. Yarrow! You? What? What is it? Go. Told you, didn't I? They crossed my wires, hammer goes clang, and then the worms crawl in. Clang, clang, horrible old sadist. Filled my brain with holes. The devil lives inside her, believe you me. Name of Migo, come out of Arx. My daughter's a magister. Pretty-haired yarrow girl. She doesn't know about all this, though. Don't you dare blame her, pretty-haired yarrow girl. Yarrow girl, you've grown.
Frightfully busy at the moment, love. Haven't got any liquor on hand, have you? This fella could use a little comfort. Well, look at that. Just what I ordered. Ain't you a peach, love? And old Dean here'd thank you too if he could. Poor fella over there crossed one of Griff's card sharks and got a club to the skull. Don't to be sure, but I'd like to ease his way out.
Out my...
The man sleeps so deeply, he might as well be dead to the world.
A little reprieve from the din outside.
Wait, I called a timeout.
No one tells me there are so many children in this Fort Joy. Magisters I handle, but small ones. We do not have many in my tribe anymore. And in yours? I never know how lucky we are.
The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns towards you when you approach. She smiles as though she recognizes you, though she couldn't have seen your face.
Ah, hello. I see you come a long way. I see you come here seeking a great adventure. Do you find it?
She laughs and looks around as though taking in the scenery, though her eyes are still covered.
Many people to meet, many stones to turn. And there is a great joy here, as though the walls and water themselves were made by many smiling gods. Even if we are here under unhappy circumstances, still I feel it.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way, Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? He knows how to leave. My protector, my friend, an elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help me, to save me, and he suffers very much. He is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek, a way out. You bring me great peace. Thank you, my friend. I miss him very much. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. He is a lizard of many dreams, of far feeling. You do not free Amiro without him. Yes, please ask.
I magic you, you're dead! I'll stab you right in the eye!
Thank you for your help with that, thug. Our kind of few here. We must help each other.
She bows.
I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this. Thank you.
Wait! I call a timeout!
No, they help.
I'll stab you right in the eye! You can't get me!
I feel him, but I do not.
You're too slow! I magicked you, you're dead!
I feel him, but I do not see him.
I magicked you, you're dead!
So, this
A
is
delivery.
Fort Joy.
Surely you'll have one.
What a crumbling disease.
Leave him be. Don't make me say it again.
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown, you caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist. Caught him red-handed trying to make off with a second crate after he took the first. Went down like a rent boy when we grabbed him. Easy. Supplies. Crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. Alls I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate, and you got yourself a deal.
An elf, caked in mud and blood, looks up at you from the bottom of the cage. He holds his shoulder at a strange angle. Despite his condition, he appears eager for your attention.
You believe what he says? That I am a thief?
He perks up and wipes his face with his good hand.
Sahela, you speak to her? She is all right then. Good. Huh. She sees my trouble, of course. She already knows. And she knows I help you out of here in exchange. It is all prepared. It is ready. I am too weak to go. But I must care for Sahela. You release me, and I show you the way out. I am no fool. If you can leave, you do leave. Free me first. Then I tell you everything I know. I see no one. In fact, I only hear the sound of Griff clearing his throat. You know how he does? Like so. For some time, I think Griff takes his own supplies. But I see the anger in him that he does not find it. He truly does not find what he seeks. Thank you. And hurry. Please.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again.
You already know the terms. Nothing else to say. Sure, have a look.
Don't tell anyone where you got this, eh?
Got it.
Mind your manners round Griff, eh?
Sweet.
Amid the squalor of Fort Joy, you suddenly spot an elf with diamond features, regal and radiant, but cold too, and sharper than any knife. She was the one who sat rolling dice in the ship that went under, deciding fates with every roll, or so she said. Her eyes are focused on a lizard some distance away, and you get the distinct feeling he's an unfortunate man indeed to be trapped in her tiger-like gaze. No sooner have these words left your mouth than she turns about and grabs you in a stranglehold. You feel the tip of a long needle being pushed a little ways into your neck.
You caught me off guard. No one catches me off guard. Better tell me who you really are, so I can decide your fate here and now. There is no other elf like me.
A push, a pivot, and now you suddenly face her, the needle still all too deeply embedded in the side of your throat. Despite the precariousness of your situation, you notice something that remained undetected in the gloom of the ship. A flaw in her diamond features. A curiously shaped scar on her left cheek.
Because it is my desire to question him intensely. As for the reason, you're staring at it. You see, once upon a bad old time, a lizard cut this thing, this living scar, into my cheek. The mark of a slave. But now I'm free, of sorts. And I've traced that lizard here, to Fort Joy. I intend to raise the subject with him.
No!
She drives the needle in deeper and whispers.
In truth, it does not matter in the least who you really are. You saw me mark my prey. You could warn him, save him, or kill him before I get my chance. That makes you a liability. That makes you needle feed. Your death will be slower, more painful, but fair enough, if you insist.
A bright sparkle of laughter follows your proposal.
Ha! How amusing. I admit I had not seen that twist coming. I was certain the pitiful begging was about to begin. Make your case and do it quickly. Why should I join you? Escape? How you do tickle me. Most of the misguided deers around here would argue such a thing is impossible. A silly thing to say, but then again, I did think catching me off guard was impossible. Oh, little needle mine, what should I do? Push or pull? The agony of choice. You know what? Today is a rather fine day. Sunshine and an easy breeze. Yes, I'll let you live. I'll even agree to travel with you, provided we talk to that lizard I mentioned. I'm not quite sure the weather will save him.
With a casual flick of the wrist, she withdraws the needle from your neck and smiles, as if she just invited you to sit down for tea.
Let's discuss our respective roles then, shall we? You, me, and Death will be playing many a round of hide and seek. So, what role would you like me to play? As a rogue, my speciality is stealth, the quick silence of the dagger striking unseen. That said, I'm perfectly lethal wielding any weapon or magic. So, the choice is yours. Suits me fine. Lead on, or better yet, let me take the lead. Then follow me.
You're not quite certain you'll ever sleep soundly with Sabine in any sort of proximity, but at least she's on your side, for the moment. Just as you're about to address the lizard, the Red Prince bars you with an outstretched arm.
This man is a dreamer. As you know, I need a word with him. You may wait here while I speak. Permission indeed.
He bids the dreamer stand up and pay attention, which he does in a groveling and awkward manner. The dreamer then chews and swallows a handful of Drudenay leaves before slipping into a trance-like state. He falls asleep. To your surprise, the Red Prince lies down and follows suit. After about half an hour, they wake up and begin to discuss what they saw in their dreams. The Red Prince pinches the bridge of his nose in apparent irritation before turning his back on the jabbering dreamer. You receive a withering glance in response.
A deserved bit of sarcasm, I suppose. But though this sting-tailed fellow may be a less than stellar specimen in the firmament of dreamers, the dreams themselves prove to be quite elucidating. Turns out I'm being hunted by an enemy I didn't know actually existed. The myth-shrouded House of Shadows. The dreamers, though, they're on my side. And they've visions of me on the throne. Of course it is. I was born with the promise of an empire, and that promise will be kept. But to keep it, I must find a second dreamer. A greater one. A more experienced traveler of the dream world. Bahara is her name, and she resides in the swamplands east of the fort. So, let us make our escape and venture there post-haste.
I could tell you all about swamp dreamers too, if I chewed that much Drudenay.
Oh, do hold
As you're
your...
about to approach the lizard, Sabine cups your chin between thumb and index finger, then guides your eyes to hers.
Listen, I need to have a chat with this here morsel of flesh. He has wronged me once, but may just do right by me this time.
Still holding onto your chin, she makes your head nod in approval.
I insist.
I told you this lizardling wronged me, yet you deny me a chance for retribution?
Her cold eyes grow a shade colder.
I will not forget this slight.
Huh? What? But I was... It was... Please, tell me. Tell me. Why did you wake me? I was so close, so close. And you smell of burnt hair and barren dreams. But I have the good breeding not to mention it. Supplies? You mean the oranges, I suppose. Though I'd guess Mr. Griff is more upset about the Druidine than the citrus. The Druidine Griff cleverly smuggles into the prison, of course, stuffed inside the oranges. You don't think he'd really be so mad over a little missing fruit, do you? No, it's not the oranges, but the dreams he's after. Same as I, though. I have the right, the responsibility. Druidine, it makes you master of all you see when you sleep. The dreamer is not the play actor, but the playwright. It may be hard for you to understand, but my kind, we dream for the greater good. What we see can predict the truth, can even shape the truth. But we need Druidine to do it. Before I was caught, before I was brought here, I saw a vision. The void woken, slain, divinity restored. But just as I was about to see how it happened, the Magisters beat down my door. This is my last chance to find out the secret, to find out how to save us all. So you see, I cannot give back the Druidine, not only for myself, but for all of us. My dreams are my gift. They may be our salvation, too. Blood. And it won't be long before he'll have it, with all his thugs lurking about. They'd stick me in my sleep if they knew. Fine, fine, take the Druidine. I'll find more. Another way. Somehow, I have to, for all our sakes. Don't mention my name to Griff. Please.
I think this was the crate I was after. Looks like Stingtail cleared out most of the contents, though.
The old dog whimpers sadly, sniffing your hand.
Don't tell anyone where you got this.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again. Griff tears into one of the oranges with both hands. Juice squirts through his hands as he desperately rips through the rind.
Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question. Who's the thief?
This Griff is nothing but a thug. Don't give up Stingtails so easily.
I don't want Stingtail's blood on my hands.
Griff would kill a fellow over petty theft. Giving up Stingtail is no better than murder.
I'm right chuffed to have my supplies back, so I'm gonna give you one last chance. Tell me who you found them on, or you're gonna have to answer to me, my knife, and each one of my people. And your little elf friend won't make it out alive neither. Oh, you must think I'm playing with you. I don't play. Hand them over.
I'll yield to none.
So Voidwoken are attracted to Source. But why?
Healing!
When another divine arises, will source change back? What if there are no sorcerers? Yet so quickly, we find source so dangerous.
An elf, caked in mud and blood.
You kill him? Griff dies? Please, find his key. Let me out. Well done. Sometimes, the best way from a situation is the simplest. I hope Griff rests in peace, even if he lives in anger. You helped me. You saved me from a terrible man. But still there is more I ask of you. I know a way out of here, and this I tell you. But there is something else. Yes, I become fine. And so much more when you agree to finish what I start. Sahela, she is everything. A ruler, a seer, a knower, a child. She cannot be lost here. It is for all our people, for the world. Give me your map. I show you the way out. A secret. Dangerous. But it leads to freedom.
I give you this amulet. You must pass it to the elves who still remain. Tell them Sahela is here. They will send help. Please. She is important.
I go to her. I wish you good luck, and I thank you for us all.
You come to fight. You come to prove yourself. You come to be worthy. There can be only one, and you have but one chance.
She scoffs.
To prove you are the one. Never mind. The one does not ask such a question.
Don't mention my name to Griff.
Oh, Emmy. What's this? I found something.
Even the most noble among us must occasionally dirty their claws. Lucky find.
The dog focuses at the cat. The old dog whimpers.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Oh, Emmy.
I sense he is free. He comes. He comes back to me.
Sahela, you are all right.
I am fine, Amiro. I am fine. I know they help us.
Yes, they do. It is as you say.
Sit, my friend. Come.
As you say. As you say.
This is very good. Sahela is all right. I still protect her. She does not die here. She does not die here. Thank you. Fate is like this. She joins the needs of one and the wants of another. We all gain what we must have. I am very weak now. And Sahela says we stay. I do not go where she does not lead. It is not devotion to Sahela, it is devotion to all, to the world. She is very special. She sees how we will survive, the void woken, the dead divine. She leads us back home. All of luck to you. Do not forget what I give you. Take it to the elves who roam the mainland. They come here. They save her. They save all of us.
She breaks into a huge, childlike grin as you approach.
One friend brings another home. Thank you.
Her face falls at the mention of her home. Her hands fly instinctively to her eyes, as if to wipe away tears, but she stops herself.
My people, I miss them, but they cannot save me. It is not to be. We stay in Fort Joy. They stay elsewhere. This is the way. This is the only way. Yes, it is a deep hurt. In my tribe, we say, the heart lives in the family cookpot. It is true, I think. Thank you, my friend. But only you survive the passage. I see it. You are free. We must remain. Thank you, dear one. You do not regret it. You see.
She squeezes your hand.
I do not forget you. Remember me too.
Soon I am quite well again. Then we make another attempt.
Whoever kills the other is the boss! Shua! Got you!
Amiro.
You're too slow! You can't get me! I'll stab you right in the eye! You can't get me!
feel uneasy here.
Your eyes brim with inquiry, so ask.
The frogs are gone. The children shall be safer. I see the good in you. I see all of you.
I'll stab you right in the eye!
Tired of the viewing here yet?
If I'm not,
Do you remember what it is like at home? The quiet. Oh, the quiet.
You're cheating! Got you!
It is good. I see
I'll
it.
stab you right in the eye! You're cheating! I'll stab you right in the eye! Got you!
Soon I am quite well again. Then we make another attempt.